And here we are, NWF fans. The time has come. I have come here to save you all, ladies and gentlemen, from the wrath of that boring, senile old man, Crusher Crossen, or as I like to call him, Schmucker Crossen. So, as your new main host, I'll be making a lot of changes, alright? But let's get started, This is the first step on a long road, so everyone give it up for my co-host, Schmucker Crossen.
And I'm actually this way. You got to remember, we're mirrored. He's new, folks. He's new, so he has to remember he has to point the opposite direction.
Hello, NWF fans, and welcome back to another episode, but yet a very special episode of NWF Fast Forward. Now, as you all know, this is a very important episode, and therefore we must do the introductions of the very important person on this podcast, and that is yours truly, the Globetrotter, your World Heavyweight Champion, the heart and soul of NIPW and the NWF, Ricky Henry. Now, as we all know, I'm the main host. I run this podcast. I call the shots. I'm the reason we all tune in bi-weekly. All right. So therefore, as the star attraction, I like to give back to those less fortunate, and that being the schmucks of the world. So here's the introduction for my co-host, the 5-time loser of my title, the ultimate schmucker Crossen.
Boy, Canary, you're just not Globetrotter, captain, captain. You're just not listening very well, are you? You know, as good a shape as I'm getting in, as I see the commenters even comment on, you shouldn't be talking to me like that. It's not healthy for you.
Not what you're talking about.
And yeah, because I am not a schmuck. In fact, I'm the opposite of a schmuck. So, and you keep saying that. And boy, looking back a year ago, young Ricky Henry, look at how much you've aged just from that episode. It's crazy. Like, you look like much older now.
Yeah, that happens when you're on a podcast every other week with you. You know, you age at a rapid pace.
Yeah.
And everything.
And it's been a year. This is our year anniversary special, and we have some cool things. We're going to ask questions of each other here. We'll be out of character for a lot of this, guys. Right now we're in character, though, because we have to talk quickly about what's coming up in NIPW for the Globetrotter, Captain Henry. Captain Schmuck is what it ought to be, but yeah, Captain. The new look and everything.
Godspeed.
I mean, he's got this captain's hat, so he thinks.
It's captain's hat.
And
it's a pilot's hat, actually.
You know, and who's else? Is it just you and Dylan? That's it?
Yeah, me and my Air Marshal Clark. Yep.
Nobody else yet in the stable?
Well, we have background stuff, but they're not ready for the forefront yet.
Mm-hmm. So, Ricky Henry. So, what I was going to do is, before we get to these questions, I want to talk a little bit about what's coming up for the NWF champ here as far as title defenses. You know, there's been some changes. Mm-hmm. So, in fact, I have what we have coming up here, what we're talking about is this is the card coming up for those guys. The Grand Social. Ben Nelson's hometown, right?
It is indeed. The Nelson's hometown in Bangor, yeah.
Yeah, and I don't know if you've heard is it sold out or?
We're getting there. We're really close now. That's what I know.
Okay.
So, buy your tickets now while you got the time, because they're actually flying out. To be fair, it's really surprising how fast we've sold tickets here.
September 28th. That's basically like next weekend. Not this weekend, but next weekend, Sunday.
Yep.
Yeah, and the change that's been made is, it's going to be Ricky Henry now defending the NWF World Title against Gary Gibson, heavy metal Gary Gibson, I believe, and he's got a title of his own, I think. As well.
He is. He's the Titanic Wrestling All-Ulster champion.
And Titanic Wrestling is another wrestling organization over there in Northern Ireland, folks. And so, yeah, he's kind of coming over here, and he's got his eyes set on that belt. As a matter of fact, we reached out to the heavy metal Gary Gibson, and he has this to say. You ready?
Oh, my God. Here we go. What's this guy going to yap about?
So let's hear him. It's a quick little blurb he got for us. Let's play it right now.
NIPW, the 28th of September is rolling around quick. And there's one match that I want to be a part of. That's against Ricky Henry, the Globetrotter, the former Canary Kid, for the NWF World Heavyweight Championship. You don't know me, but I know you. I am heavy metal Gary Gibson, the mosh pit maestro. And I'm stepping in that ring. I'm going to relieve you of that championship belt. You want to call yourself the captain? Canary Airlines. Well, me and you, brother, we're going to get airborne. And I'm leaving with your championship belt. Oh, it's time for the mosh pit. Yeah.
Well, looks like you got yourself a challenger. It looks like he's got his eyes set on that belt.
All I'll say is, one thing we all know about heavy metal enjoyers, which, by the way, isn't even real music, it's just a load of people shouting in the mics. Honestly, it's like listening to Crusher Crossing. But the thing about heavy metal is, all the enjoyers seem to have a massive phobia of shampoo, conditioner, and body wash. So just from watching that promo, knowing that he's been in many mosh pits, I'm just gonna use some hand sanitizer because I don't want to get any diseases from whatever dump mosh pit he was in that day. You never know with those heavy metal rats.
Ricky Globetrotter captain. It's like a week away. You don't have the hand sanitizer. You're gonna need to do it again.
Yeah, I know that's gonna be an issue. I need more. I don't have enough.
But I don't know, man. I mean, I told you they're gonna come at you from all angles and all corners. You had Roach. Now you got this guy. You got Tarasi coming up. I mean, they're just coming at you, and they're coming for that belt. I just hope that you don't lose it anytime soon, for obvious reasons.
Well, the obvious reason being that I'm the biggest attraction that Championship's ever had in its over 30-year history. Makes sense.
So, yeah, let's get to a few comments here before we get into our questions that we're going to share with you guys. Congratulations on your 1-year anniversary of NWF Forward show. It's been a great year, and you both have come a long way. From Gizmo, channel moderator. Thanks,
well, congratulations to you two for having me for a 1-year anniversary.
And Damien says, Ricky, the guys want to know who is the strong, handsome man next to you in the thumbnail. You two look like you are fighting weight. Does that mean the fight will happen sometime this year?
What fight?
You know who he's talking about, the handsome man next to you.
Am I pointing the right way?
It's Crusher.
No, Crusher has said himself, retirement. Although he never announced it, I think it's best we consider him retired.
It's not just losing weight; it's gaining muscle. It's everything.
Yes, you should be doing that for your own personal health and not for the sake of wrestling. It's not a bad idea at your age.
And the way I'm feeling right now, I feel like I'm about 30 years younger right now. I gotta say.
I don't see what you're talking about. You look the same age you did when we started this podcast, which is funny because you're older. So maybe that's a little bit younger. But
you kind of just keep talking the smack. Keep it coming. Keep it coming, because you know something, it ain't gonna work when I get out there next time, Ricky. It ain't gonna work. You're a nice little facade that you put up.
Nothing's gonna happen next time. I wouldn't be surprised if you're wearing a shirt with this sort of color design, black and white stripes. Once again,
All full of smack when I'm not near him. But boy, when I show up, then he changes tune. But it ain't gonna work. That's all I'm saying. It's not going to work. You're gonna be taught a lesson that you need to be taught.
Sure.
That's for damn sure. Sky Sports Video News. Sean, you are Sean. Who's Sean? You mean Crusher?
My name's not Sean.
You are Sean. You are looking good these days. I can see all the hard work you're putting in starting to show. Keep it up, and then win back your NWF belt. Well, you know, 6-time champ. That has a nice ring to it, don't you think, Ricky?
You know what else has a nice ring to it? The fact that they put "your" in quotations, meaning that they aren't actually their words. They've taken someone else's words. That's what quotations mean. Therefore, meaning that that isn't their opinion. That's your opinion that they're just spewing back to you.
But the fact of the matter is 6-time champ, which you just ducked around there. Nice
For
try.
sure. Let's just come on. We're not doing this. You can't even count to 6. Never mind. Have 6 title reigns.
Guys, he's worried. And you know what it is, Ricky? And I
worried.
thought about you. You are worried. And I thought about this because, like, you know how you always say, Crusher, this is not a good idea. This isn't a good idea for you to do this, right? Bad idea. But the thing is, if you really felt that way about me, and I know you'd think I'm a schmuck and everything, you'd want to kick my ass. You'd want to put me out. You want to put me to the pasture and everything else. So the fact that you're saying this to me, you're just trying to get in my head. You're trying to make me think that that's what it is, because the real reason is you're the one that's afraid that you're going to lose that belt.
Did you just say I'm trying to get in your head? Crusher, yeah. This podcast, this episode is us celebrating the 1-year anniversary of me getting in your head. I've been in it from the day I got here.
So you're trying to intimidate somebody who intimidates people. It doesn't work. So I'm just seeing right through your little magic.
Give me timbers.
Yeah. And then Sports Video says, I'm sure the show is starting late because we are waiting for Ricky. Well, we were. Well, he's now got full control of this podcast, just like I do, and it was the first time getting logged in with.
So many people are getting removed.
And so now Ricky can actually control comments. He can do anything I can do.
Ban every single one of you schmucks.
Yeah, it's kind of scary giving him like control of this airplane, if you will, for Canary Airlines.
Aircraft, yeah.
You can't blame him. Time is different part of the world, and it's late for him. It's like midnight. That's midnight for him.
It's closer to 1.
Ricky wanted to do this one later because he had stuff going on. So that's why we're starting a little bit later today, guys.
Yeah. Sorry, I have a life.
And then that's it. That's all our comments. So
perfect. These can all zip it.
So yeah, we're gonna slide out a character, all right?
Thank God.
So I'm gonna talk to Ricky. I'm not gonna give him shit. Like I like to do. But we got questions. Ricky's already seen these questions as well because he'd
briefly.
hate me.
I saw them briefly. I didn't actually get a chance to fully review answers or anything. So I would actually there will be a majority of questions that you're going to throw at me that I'm going to get caught off for. So
yeah, but I know you would have been mad if I would have thrown these at you without you seeing them at all. You wouldn't have liked that because you always want to have time to think about it.
Oh yeah.
Remember, what was it that I did to you that one time that? Oh yeah, I said come up with a match. How would you do a match between me and you? And you're like, that threw me off guard. I wasn't prepared for that.
Well, that's different. You're asking me to book something. You know, when it comes to booking, I want to be perfect.
Yeah. So,
all right.
Let's see. Let's just start with these questions. So the first one is, so what we're going to do, we're going to ask questions of us, and he's going to answer for what he thinks of me, and I'm going to answer for what I think of him, basically. Since we've known each other a year now, this is how we feel, right? Mm-hmm. So so this one's for you and me, Ricky, but I'm going to ask it for you. What is Crusher's greatest attribute as a wrestler that you've seen?
Honestly,
we're not in character.
Yeah, I know.
I was just waiting for you to come up.
No, honestly, I'm trying to think. Honestly, if I was to say something right now, I would say longevity.
Longevity?
Because as much, like, to be honest, when you came and trained up with us, like I said it here before, it was actually shocking. He was able to actually climb the ropes and stuff, and the fact that he was able to somewhat hit a drop kick, which is something that I've seen people who are in their 20s not be able to do. It's pretty impressive, to be fair.
I gotta say, I impressed myself because I didn't know if I could either.
Oh yeah, I'm surprised you could step in the ring.
I honestly didn't know what was going to happen.
Blow your head out.
So, but that's just the thing. I can see that. I could see that. That would be, longevity. Now, what do I think Ricky's greatest attribute is as a wrestler?
I'll be very surprised. I have something in my head that I think you're going to say, so I'm going to be very shocked if it's not.
Well, honestly, if I'm going to be honest, his greatest attribute is his mouth, his talking.
That's what I thought it was going to be, yeah.
It really is. I mean, I don't think there's anybody better in the whole league in NAPW. I think...
Tell Nathan Hoy that.
Well, it's true. I have.
I
actually have told Nathan that. I said, in fact, I said, Nathan, if Ricky sticks around at any length of time, he needs to be the character development coach to show people how to do a promo and stuff like that.
Well, I to go behind the scenes, you could ask Nathan this and ask John McCann this on Thursday night, for example, but I do it every time we do a promo class because, not to toot me no horn, when it comes to the place like the NIPW, there's very few things that I'm the best at because we have a great variety of talent, but one thing I will always take full credit for being the best at is to being a character and talking. And
it's your favorite part too.
It is my favorite part. Like we were up at we were out today, me and John, and we ran into a bunch of guys from the wrestling, and because there was a wrestling event on, and it was like for Belfast that we did a thing called Culture Night, and it's like there's like loads of live music and like all like just attractions around like our city. And one of the things was there was a wrestling event that happened inside our biggest train station in Belfast.
Oh, I've heard about it. Yeah, Darren's talking about that.
Yeah, so they were there as well. We saw Darren and Keaton, we were sitting with them. But when I saw, there were so many people I saw, and the crowd were very like quiet at the start, but I believe that I got them quite loud because I was the one in the crowd screaming. And I actually said to John afterwards, I was like, I am not a social person. I'm not out there, but when anything wrestling involved, I'm going to be the loudest person there.
So that explains your voice right now. You're yelling.
Oh yeah. Oh, that's exactly what it was. My voice is gone. I was screaming. My voice.
Yeah.
I have the who was it? You ever hear like Paul Heyman when he was like an ECW and he'd be cutting his promos and he'd be screaming, his voice would be destroyed.
Yeah.
That's how I felt when I was like chanting and all.
But no, I mean, it is like, in my opinion, that's your greatest attribute out of all the things. Like if you were to look at like wrestling ability, talking on the mic, coming up with storylines, all, if you just look at all of it, yeah, I would say that.
It's called being on the spectrum.
Well, you like the drama too. and I said this on Rewind last week. I said, I'm jealous because when I was, the guy said, "Oh, Little Crusher can better than Ricky at a promo," and that ridiculous one that I showed you that they all got to see now. And I said, "No, guys, I couldn't hold a candle to him back in the day, but I can now. But I couldn't back in the day. There's no way. Not a lot of people can't. A lot of people can't, but I could today, and I can. We do it on this podcast every week, or every other week.
Sure.
Okay, next question. What has been? Okay, it's for you, Ricky. What has been Crusher's greatest achievement in wrestling?
Now, if I'm going to be honest, it's not being a 5-time champion, and that's jokes aside. It's not. It's creating the NWF in general. Surely,
yeah, I figured you'd say that.
Like, surely there's nothing close. He went what age were you started at 15 or something? Younger?
14. Yeah.
14. He started a wrestling promotion in the States where wrestling was at its most competitive in the 80s because wrestling was at its peak in the 80s, to be honest, when it came to popularity. And created an American Wrestling Federation in the 80s and was able to get it on cable television at the age of 14 and higher venues and sellout venues at that age is no one could do it now.
Well, I was 16. I was 16 when we started doing that stuff.
You still weren't old enough to drink.
Yeah,
you were doing that.
or drive. I didn't have my driver's license yet.
Yeah, you weren't old enough to do anything, really. You probably still needed your parents' permission to go to the doctors. Like, that's genuinely it. And I would stand by. You could put any other person on the planet in Sean's position, and he's not doing it. Like, they're not doing the.
Yeah, I think Nathan says the same thing.
Oh yeah, no
Yeah.
one else doing that. Unreplicatable.
And then, so what has been Ricky's greatest achievement in wrestling? I think your greatest achievement is just the fact that you've competed with regular adults when you were 15, even 14 probably, right? But 15 for sure.
14, I had spent I spent almost a year of my life as a 14-year-old professional wrestler.
Yeah, so even at 14, in there with regular guys, twice the size of you, and you were viable. That's a huge achievement. It's not, I suppose you thought I was going to say NWF champ too, but titles are titles. But that just being in the ring with like adults at your age, like when I was 14, I was just wrestling kids. I wasn't wrestling, with the exception of Steve Engstrom, who we thought was a kid. But otherwise, it was just other kids.
It's such a weird question, because I don't know about you, but I've actually never sat and gone, what's my biggest achievement? I never have. I've never actually thought about it.
Well, I can't think of too many others that were 14 that did that kind of stuff. I mean, I can count them on one hand that I know of.
Yeah.
So there's not very many. You're in a kind of a small group of company, but not just be in the ring with these guys, but actually going over in matches and stuff.
Oh yeah, I won my second ever pro wrestling match, which I think crazy because before my first match, Nathan wasn't the biggest fan of me. So I didn't think I'd be winning for a while. And then, so he had me lose against John. He really enjoyed the match. And then it was me against D.D. Crooks. And he's like, oh, yeah, can I hurry over for crossbody?
Yeah.
And I go, first off, a crossbody? What? In 2022? Winning with a crossbody is crazy. But, 14-year-old me won with a crossbody in 2022. And that was my first ever win.
Yeah, so that's what I'd say. Now we'll go to the next question. Ricky said we want to get through these, right?
Oh, yeah.
What is for you? What is Crusher's greatest strength as a person? So this isn't like wrestling related necessarily.
Yeah.
Just like strength. Like, what would be my greatest strength, just as a person?
I would honestly say one of them is the Crusher is surprisingly smart as fuck. Sorry, language. Sorry. I'm tired, guys.
Pull the John McCann.
Sorry, I'm tired. Sorry. I just lost us all monetization.
You gotta understand, when Ricky and I talk candidly, the F-bombs come out, so sometimes we slip.
I just lost us all monetization on this video. Sorry, it's tired. He's smart as heck. It's crazy. As you know, I wouldn't be here tonight right now if it wasn't for Crusher's tech savviness.
Oh, that's true.
That's why I was late. I was lost, and this guy's older than half the technology I'm using, and yet he knows how to use it. So that it's crazy. He's very tech smart, and then just like even problem solving in general, like obviously behind the scenes, because there's a curtain, guys, but behind the scenes there's so many different things that I turn to Crusher and be like, yo, we have this to work with. How are we making this work? And he'll go, I have this idea. And I'll be like, okay, great idea. We've solved the problem. It's problem solving. It's crazy. It's very smart. And then also, can you guys take a second to realize that we are live right now in living color? You're seeing this. All of this production is him. Like, you think I could do this? Oh, no. All those designs. This guy's done designs for like family events for me and everything. Like, this guy just knows how to do everything. I don't know how.
When Ricky was in Canada, he needed some help with a thing for a wedding, and so I said, I can do that for you.
Oh yeah, and it worked. It was perfect.
I think I whipped it out in like an hour, didn't I?
Oh yeah, you go. Oh, depends on what I'm doing. I said, you go easy. Less than an hour, probably. It was probably like 40 minutes, and you sent me the perfect graphic, and I go, that's perfect. And then you did it again. You go,
yeah, I remember.
I wasn't proud of it.
He was giving me shit the whole time. I remember when we were talking about while I'm doing it and stuff. He's like, we're going back and forth. I think it was spelling bees stuff.
Oh yeah, of course, as usual.
So now, what is Ricky's greatest strength as a person? And this one is easy for me. His greatest strength is very simple. He is so mature. The maturity level is off the charts with Ricky. I don't think you guys realize. When you don't see it here, guys. When he's in character, he's being silly and goofy, and he's being Canary Kid, or I was going to say Canary Kid, but Globetrotter. And he's being disrespectful. That's not who he is. And when you actually talk to him when he's out of his character, he's just nothing but professional and acts probably like people in their 30s would act, versus you wouldn't think he was a teenager. That's what I'm trying to say. And that's what I enjoy about Ricky. I mean, because there's not a lot of teenagers that I can say that about. Most teenagers I know are acting like they're still in grade school, even. They're not mature.
I blame that a lot on wrestling. I blame that so much on wrestling. Like, although wrestling is full of the most, respectfully to the sport, immature people I've ever met, sometimes in a good way. Like, sometimes it's really funny how immature people can be because it's like a bit of fun. But like at the same time, there's not always the most mature people. But like, I feel like with wrestling, because I'm constantly in a business setting, I'm in a professional setting, and I have been almost every day of my life since I was 14. I end up being like molded into like a robot in a way of like professionalism, and I'm like trying to be professional. But Nathan sometimes thinks that I forget about professionalism. Like if he's getting me in training, he's like, "Oh, I'll take people for a stretch." I'll go right in the apartment. He goes, "Stay professional." I go, "Fine, okay," because like,
and that is one thing, Ricky, that you and I are common, because I was the same when I was your age too. Obviously, running a cable show and everything like that, I had to work with adults too, and
you have to be responsible enough,
right? And so I got, I got, people always would comment about me on that too. That's one thing Ricky and I are very similar with, is just being mature for our age. All right, next question. This one will be kind of interesting.
Oh no.
All right, what is Crusher's weakest strength
in my opinion?
In your opinion, like what is my fault?
That's all I could say, but I can't say it on the podcast.
Well, you can say whatever you want on the podcast.
Oh yeah, no, I can't. It's one of the only taboos me and you made.
One taboos?
The one taboo we have for this entire podcast.
I don't remember. It could have been, that could be a lot of things.
Oh, I think we spoke about this taboo literally in our last conversation. But if I'm gonna say something that I could say on this, his biggest weakness. This is difficult.
Don't sugarcoat it.
I'm not. It's just It's an issue I have. I struggle to see like people's weaknesses a lot of the time unless I really don't like them.
Well, at least I'm not in the dog doo-doo category.
Oh no, yeah, a lot of people are in there, especially after a couple weekends ago. This is difficult. Do you have one for me? Can you do my one first?
Yeah, I know what your weakness is.
I don't have my one is. I don't have one for you right
now.
At
least in my opinion, again, my opinion. Ricky's weakness is
I have an idea.
Stubbornness.
Sometimes, literally exactly.
Sometimes he gets this "I'm right, you're wrong, listen to what I'm saying" attitude, and you can try to convince him as much as you want, but when he has his mind made up, it's made up, and that's that.
Can I just say something, right? Let me just take the people through something, right? And I'm going to just pull out the phone here so I can quote, right? So I can get exactly the quote. Because I want to talk about stubbornness and always thinking you're right. Let's talk about me and your messages from a couple of weeks ago.
Oh, God. We were talking so about many things we've said. I don't know what you're going to bring up here.
You just wait. Here it is. It should be right about here. Here it is. Yeah, this is exactly the conversation. So, as you know, guys, right now, as it stands, I'm able to control a lot of things. But me and Crusher, obviously, we had to run it through a few times. So we'd planned when we were going to be on. And Crusher had said to me he could do it between 4:30 p.m.
Oh,
to 5:30 p.m. 4:30 to 5:30 p.m. is the time he was free. And I go, sounds good. 4:30 should work. I'll let you know. He texts me on the day. Finished up early. Now I'm available until 4:30. And I go, I thought you were free from 4:30. And he goes, I'm done early. It's now. And I go, but you said you're available until, not from. Like, what's happening right now? Like, it's getting mixed up. And we went back and forth with him going, yeah, that's what I'm saying.
It's true.
And we went, I think, for 20 minutes.
That wasn't 20 minutes, but it was a while.
I'll say 15 to be nice. And I actually had to.
But see, I just realized that I just
reply to his message from the very start and go, read that again.
Accidentally said 4:30 versus 5:30 because the time zone confused me and I was just like confused. And that's all.
It didn't confuse you because in the message afterwards you go, wait, it is 4:30 there, right? That was what your words.
But see, because I thought he was. Anyways, so what's my weakness? Let's get to that, and then we'll get to the next question.
Time zones. That's your weakness. Your weakness. You know what I'll say? I'll say your weakness is sometimes you're naive.
Oh, falling for shit.
Well, not just that, but that's a really good one. But similar to what I said earlier about how no one else could start a wrestling promotion like you did at such a young age.
Mm-hmm.
People were live on this podcast as I was trying to make it clear to you, I couldn't start a wrestling promotion and make it work right now in this modern day. And you're like, you could. The naivety was insane. I couldn't do it.
But
I couldn't.
I know you believe you can't, but I believe you could.
I think I have the ability to, but it's hard to get the.
I just think that. Here's my thing, Ricky, and you know this about me. I think anything's possible if you put your mind to it. So
that's naivety.
You can look at it as naive. That's another little side weakness I'll give for Ricky.
Oh, here we go. It's back and forth.
More weaknesses. No, but another side weakness is Ricky sometimes lacks confidence in himself on multiple things. Like sometimes he second guesses his own abilities, but I think that this podcast has helped you be more confident. I will say that since I
just love talking now.
Well, I mean, and Nathan's even picked up on it.
Well, it's also helping my ability to have a good haircut, as we saw from the very first podcast. My hair was up here. It looked like I was receding at the age of 16.
And with that hair you had in the beginning, you looked like you were like 12. At least with this haircut, it makes you look older, you know.
Well, yeah, I bumped into a few people today at the wrestling who I hadn't seen in months, maybe over a year, and they actually said to me, they stopped and looked at me and went, you look like you're 20, and I go, I don't know what you're talking about. And because I'm kind of growing a little bit of facial hair, and I'm only in the early stages, and it's a wee bit there and a wee bit here, you can't really see
a little bit of peach fuzz,
yeah. And they dig over and go, wait, and start feeling my face, and I'm like, yeah, and they go,
oh, you're gonna get the pilot goatee.
No,
Captain goatee.
Similar. I'm looking for this and this.
Oh, and just that, yeah.
Yeah.
Be careful though. You don't want to look like a German.
What's wrong with Germans?
Well, I mean,
it's not 1940s.
You don't want to be a captain in Germany, captain type guy. I forget what they call captains in German, but.
Oh yeah, true. I don't want to be like a. Yeah.
That could be a bad analogy. All right, let's get to the next question.
Let's move on from this topic.
Yeah, weaknesses we're done with.
I got you a taboo.
All right, next one is, all right, let's be interesting. Okay, Ricky, what's for you? What is Crusher's best move in professional wrestling that you've seen?
Well, it's a dumb question. The drop kick, obviously. He's a good drop kick.
No, I did all sorts of moves. Are you sure it's just a drop kick?
Honestly, out of your moves, there is no move you did better than the drop kick. There isn't. But
I guess I can't argue. I think the drop kick.
You didn't do a move better than it. Like, literally, you I don't know what you wanted from either.
I know it's pretty obvious.
Always gonna say.
All right, so let's just move to mine then for you. What is Ricky's best move in professional wrestling? Actually, it's like the drop kick is good, but you get a lot of moves you do that are good. I mean,
I'm interested to hear what you say my best is, because I would personally, if someone was to ask me, I would say that my drop kick's my best.
What I'll say is the drop kick you do when they come off the second rope, for sure. That variation of it, for sure, is your best.
Oh yeah, I should be a basketball player.
But also, your canary cutter, I'm still a fan of that one too. I know you don't do it anymore. You should still do it, but
yeah,
I mean, as a it doesn't be a finisher, but I would still throw that in now and then.
Yeah,
but I I think that was kind of innovative almost, the way you did it. And
Well, I
I
thought
like-
that, but I got told it wasn't.
wow, to each their own, Ricky. Everybody has an opinion.
Oh yeah, some people are clowns.
But no, I thought it was great. And but the drop kick, yeah, I would say. And I mean, I told you before, I don't take credit for training on it. I just take credit for influencing you on it. And you know that.
I'll give you the influence one, yeah, sure.
Because I definitely got in your head. I did.
Oh yeah, 100%. When you're like, because I'd always said like
Yeah.
because John was in the same boat for a while. Me and John were only doing single leg drop kicks for a while, and I was like,
Yeah.
meh.
They're
And,
okay.
and then every time you'd watch, you go, I'm a good drop kick, and I'll tell you this, Canary doesn't keep his feet together, and that made me go, well, now I have to keep my feet together so I can prove that.
But you're slipping. Keep them feet tight. Make sure they stay clasped. I mean, also
I will.
sliding out of it a little bit
Sometimes it's hard when you want to put your head through a wall, but
even in the training segment, I noticed that again. So
you saw a training segment?
The one that John posted, you threw a drop kick.
Oh, I had feet together. Don't even try it. I've seen it.
Look at it in slow motion.
Oh, they made it went like a little bit apart, but
just a little bit. Hey,
Oh
hey,
my
constructive criticism. That's all it is. Look,
constructive
it's still better than what I could do. So I'll
Yeah,
give you
we
that. All right, let's go to the next question. I gotta give him a little shit, guys.
Yeah, of course. We know.
All right. Who has, from what you know, what you've seen so far, Ricky, who has been Crusher's greatest opponent that you've watched me in matches with? I'll give you names just so you can remember.
No, I know there's two right now. There's two personally. But if I was going to be completely honest, in my personal opinion, the matches that I see of Crusher, I go, that's probably his best. That's probably his better matches. I would say Kelsey.
Kid Kelsey?
Yeah. I think he's the one who got your best matches.
Yeah.
He's in there, and then Mr. X is also in there.
Yeah, Steve is just a good bumper. He'd make anybody look good.
Yeah, but I would push it a little bit more towards Kelsey.
So Kelsey?
Personally, yeah.
And before I go to mine, Ricky, I don't want to lose comments. Gizmo had a comment here just a while back. Crusher's weakness is that his heart is still promoting kids wrestling. Got a point, Giz. Though his love of wrestling, he helps the younger generation remember how kids wrestling first started in America.
It says through, not though.
Good point.
What's that? Through. It says through, not though. Misread.
It says through.
Yep.
Oh, and he should have said though.
No, you said though.
Did I? Oh, yeah. See, Ricky's OCD is really off on a tangent here.
I definitely have OCD. I 100% have
especially
OCD.
when it comes to grammar. So, guys, when you type your questions, double and triple check before you post them. Otherwise, he's going to go off.
Word gives you grammar corrections.
Because all Ricky sees is grammar issues. He's not even paying attention to the question itself or the comments.
Well, yeah, because I read it before you can even say it, and then by the time I've read it, I go,
God, I hope you don't ever become an English teacher. You're going to drive the kids nuts.
Oh, they'd hate me.
They'd hate you.
Me. Well, it's the same.
Mr. Henry, man, I can't stand his class.
Oh, well, that's actually not the case. Let me just pull up something for you to really rub in his face. Oh, where did I put it? I can't look for it right now because we're on a podcast live right now and I don't have it at my disposal. But for a little bit of backstory, in Ireland, when you're in your second last year of high school, you do a thing called work experience, which is where you get put into a workplace, basically as volunteer work, and you just get experience. Funny enough, helps you. It's a good program. You can do it for like 3 days, and I did it in a school. I was like, I think you guys in the States call it teacher's aid, classroom system we call it here. And when I was doing it, I actually got written a card by the students to Mr. Henry. And it was saying how they're going to miss me so much, and kids and all were crying and hugging me after those 3 days. So that just shows
you were being cool with them. That's why.
Well, no, because I actually did have to tell a couple of them to shut up. Kids don't know how to shut up. No, I felt so weird having to tell like kids that are like, these kids were what, like 8, 9, and I was telling them, yo, shut up. But all
right. So we're gonna get to, I didn't answer my question for you. Your greatest opponent so far, my opinion. Well, I think you know where I'm going. It's got to be John McCann. I mean, you've had so many matches with him. Some of your best matches, in my opinion. I would say John McCann has been your greatest opponent so far.
I
would
I
say.
have this, like, I made this statement on another person's podcast recently. It's not uploaded yet, but I made this statement, and the statement was, when I got asked who my best opponent was, I said, if you ask me, I have 3 answers. Who gave me my best ever match? Ben Nelson.
Well, I was
Who-
going to say Ben too.
Yeah. Who gives me the most advanced matches? Didi Crooks. And who makes me wrestle to my best? And it's John. I have no choice. I've always said I have no choice in the ring with John. With Ben, I can be lazy if I wanted to. With Don, I can be lazy if I wanted to, because they're going to do their job. And it'll make the match decent enough. But with John, he'll still do his job. But in a way, I feel like I kind of have to be good enough when I'm with John. It just feels like a natural thing of being competitive in a way. Of like, I need to be at his level. So
yeah, John's really talented. Everybody, no doubt about that.
That's my coach right there.
Okay, I'm gonna go to the next question. I want to get through them. This will be a fun one.
Oh.
Ricky, what was your first impression when you first met me online? You have to think back to when you came on as a guest, I guess.
Now, first impression's very vague. I was saying after our first ever podcast, like our first time ever doing one, like obviously not with me being a co-host, I came on as a guest first, but are we talking about after that, or are we talking about when I'd first encountered you? Like I first, like when I think I saw you, Dave and Keaton.
However you want to answer it.
Right, well, when I saw you, Dave and Keaton, I thought, whoa, this looks pretty professional. But I doubt it will be, because in my eyes, every podcast I'd ever been a part of, which I'd been a part of like 2 or 3 before this, and I was like, respectfully, I hope none of the people I've done podcasts with have ever see this, because I'm just going to be honest, they're the most like unprofessional, low quality things I've ever done, and it's like a stain on my career personally. So I was like, this will also be like that, but I'll see what happens. So I commented and ended up being on it and stuff, and afterwards I was like, this guy's good at his job. I'll give it to him. He's a good podcaster. He's good at that. So that was one thing I'd say. But those were honestly my first impressions. My first original impression was, I don't think this will be very professional, and then it did it, and I was like, this is actually a really good quality podcast.
Yeah, you weren't sure what you were going to get.
No, I had no idea.
And so my first impression with Ricky when he came on as a guest, well, let me say this. When I first seen him, basically, because I seen Canary Kid before I met him. So my first impression when I seen him wrestling was, those old NXG matches that I came on across on Keaton's channel. And my first impression was, God, I mean, and we use this in a storyline, but it's the truth. I seen a lot of myself in him when I was his age, not looks, not moves, but the passion to be in the wrestling. That passion, I could see it in his matches. You could see it in his character and everything. And it reminded me of, because we use this in a storyline, you guys, for the buildup, but it's actually the truth. Passion's something that when you know what it is, you can identify it. And I seen that passion. So that was my first impression, is that it reminds me of the passion I had. I'm not talking move wise. I'm not talking look wise. Although I know Dave thinks that Ricky looked a lot like I did back in the day, but I don't know if we do. Ricky's different build and everything, kind of.
Yeah, I don't see it.
Yeah, and he's a little taller and skinnier, and I was a little more defined, a little bit better. I mean, for our age, a little bit. Come on, and I still got the pipes. I mean, just a little. Remember, you even said yourself, gosh, you picked a nice picture of you and you picked one of me like I rolled out of bed. Well, that's the only one I could get. You didn't have a lot of choices for me to choose from. Crazy. So Cat even agrees.
Cat's not listening.
So no, but my first impression then on the podcast, like when you come on as a guest, it was my very first Forward show, and Ricky was my first guest. And
you're welcome.
I was very impressed. Again, just because he seemed so mature for, at the time, a 16-year-old. I think you were 16, right?
Yeah, I was 16. Yeah, I was just trying to remind. Yeah.
And I was just impressed. I was impressed with everything. I was just impressed, which is why it was not a difficult decision when Ricky 8 weeks later or whatever it was said, "Hey, I'd like to do co-host with you." That was
it was the other way around. He texted me.
it was a no-brainer, you guys. I was like, absolutely. And it was funny because me and John were still talking. The show was over and Ricky had watched it. And then Ricky sends me this big wall text, that pitch. And I said, "Tell you what, me and John are in the studio. We're talking figures or something." I said, "Why don't you come on and jump on in?" And boom, you're in. And we talked, hours that night. It was fun.
Oh, yeah.
It was a fun time. Those are some of my best memories, honestly, me and him when we first met. Me, him, and John just talking wrestling stuff.
Mm-hmm.
It was great.
Oh, yeah.
All right, next question. All right, what do you like most about me?
About you?
Mm-hmm. What do you like the most about me?
Reliability is one. Like, I honestly, and I couldn't if I tried. I can't think of a time where Crusher has ever said to me, "I'm going to do this," or "This is my plan. This is what I'm going to do," or, "This is what we're going to do," or, "Here's my idea." And he's not actually done something, or at least done it in any sort of way. Like, he's always doing the things he says he's going to do. I don't think a throwaway statement exists in his head. Like, I don't think he speaks unless he really thinks he's going to do something. Like, it's crazy. Like genuinely.
Well, these things we can't tell you yet, guys, but I know what he's talking about because.
Oh, yeah.
I think I told him a long time ago, if I'm going to do something, I'm not going to be half-assing. Not half-assing
it, right? Yeah. But like one example that obviously we can say to you guys is coming to Ireland. Like, that's one hell of a trip.
Yeah, bringing the title and everything.
Like, even though I'd known and seen pictures of you in Ireland, it was when I actually saw you in person, it sunk in. Like, this guy actually made this trip for this event. Like, that's dedication just to promote his brand and promote us and promote wrestling.
And I'd do it again. I'd do it again in a heartbeat and wouldn't change it.
Oh, yeah. And that's, you say your greatest memories was that. My greatest memories was when you came here. That was great. We were out like every day. Me and Mitch.
It was
and
fun.
Steve as well. Stevie, it was great. It was a great day.
That was a really good time. I'm trying to think where I was now. It was
what you like the most.
What I like the most. Okay, what do I like the most about Ricky? Personality, for sure. Always, for the most part, 99% of the time in a good mood.
99.
I mean, everybody has a bad day, but I mean, like,
what you're talking about.
But I'm just saying, like, your personality, like, I enjoyed doing this podcast with you, for example. Even though you think we hate each other, it's because we're having fun with our characters, you guys.
There's no way that anyone actually believes that we hate each other. There's no way that's actually...
Who knows what some
people are gullible enough. I think John McCann's watching right now. He'll probably comment in the chat now I'm saying this, but John McCann's gullible enough that he knows us outside of this and probably still thinks we hate each other.
We're going to talk about John McCann because one of the questions I got to bring him up, man. Yeah, we'll get to that.
We already have brought him up a few times.
But we'll bring him up, but we're definitely going to bring him up again.
We'll see.
All right, I'll go to the next question. All right, this was the backwards question, Ricky. What do you dislike the most about me?
Can't say it on the podcast.
I hate that because that's not being honest.
Oh, you want me to say it on the podcast? Yeah.
Yeah, whatever you dislike, it's fine.
All right, you want me to say the taboo subject?
As long as it doesn't give anything away.
Oh, so there's no spoilers for anything?
Okay, yeah, no spoilers. Yeah.
Yeah, I'll not elaborate on it for the sake of the podcast. Worst political views I've ever heard a man have.
Okay. I know why you didn't want to bring it up.
Taboo, yeah. But if we're saying that, I will say the thing I like the least about Crusher is that he sends voice messages like a podcast host in the meaning of they're 6 hours long. And I have to look and go, sometimes and go, I have to listen to this.
Coming from the guy who got cut off on a 5-minute one. Yeah. But yeah, I know.
Yeah, that's one of those bad days you were talking about, huh?
I do send long messages and voice memos. I do. And I think you like it when I send them on the one where you can transcribe it because then you can just read it.
No,
but if I send it on the other,
because the transcript's not 100% accurate, and
isn't it
I'm
work?
gonna miss something.
But one of them lets you go fast forward though. You can go quick.
Yeah, I put it on 2 times speed, so it means instead of having to listen to it for an
So
hour,
I
having to
know
half
you
an
do
hour.
that. I know you do that because like, how the fuck did he listen to that quick? Well, he's got to be doubling it up.
Do you think I'm going to listen to 7 minutes of a voice message? I'm not doing that.
Well, I can't. That's 5 minutes is the most. But yeah, I know. I agree. I can see that.
No,
I
5
do.
is the most on Instagram. On Messenger, I think it's like even longer.
See, because I'm driving all the time, guys. I'm in my job, I'm driving, so I can't type. So it's like the voice memo is so much more convenient. I do it with Nathan all the time too, and everybody actually.
But this guy talks like he's on the podcast, like he lasts.
Yeah, I like the sound of my own voice. I
We
agree.
know.
All right, next question. All right, this will be a fun one. Who are you, Ricky, gonna put on the NWF Mount Rushmore, and in what order? The NWF Mount Rushmore.
The NWF Mount Rushmore. What do you mean in order? No, don't. I don't want to order things.
Like first, second, third, fourth.
Well, first I'll go to you. Right.
Okay.
I feel like I'd be dumb if I didn't. Like it would be genuinely dumb if I didn't. So you get first. For me, here's how I'm going to do it, and I'll explain it. So you can get first, right? Then I'm going to put Dave on it. Reason why. Yep, reason why. Although he never held the NWF World title, right? One thing you can give to Dave, and he loves to bring it up, this was his idea. He made the suggestion of a podcast. And honestly,
True.
the NWF name, if it wasn't for the podcast, would be living through just clips from matches on a YouTube channel and DVDs.
And a book. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and a book. He just wanted to rub that in. So, like, we have a different brand now to the NWF, so I have to give him that.
Okay, so you got Crusher, then you got Dave.
After him, Ace.
Ace. What do you like about Ace?
No, it's not what I like about him, right? But it's what he represented in the NWF's history, and it's the fact that
just doing all those shoots.
When you think of the shoot wrestling era of the NWF, if you're an NWF fan and Ace isn't the first name to come to your head, there's something going on. Like he was the shoot wrestling era, and he wasn't even probably the best fighter, but he was just so slimy and knew what he was doing that he could.
Which I've been told with you is you're slippery and slimy as that.
Oh, everyone calls me so slippery and annoys him, but
people are trying to give me tips.
Oh yeah, so I'll give it to him. You want to know what I'm going to say for number 4?
It's got to be the Globetrotter.
It's got to be the Globetrotter, and hear me out. And I already know Dave is going.
I honestly thought you'd be number 2.
No, I'm not that. Dave is going to message me about this. Kelsey's probably going to send Crusher a message to pass on. There's going to be so many people. The NWF legends are going to hate me for this, but I'm going to say why I believe I am in there. I'm the first person to hold this title again in 30 years. And I like to believe if I didn't request to come back
and on foreign soil. And on foreign soil.
Outside the United States. On foreign soil. Yeah. Sorry, I was like trying to comprehend the words. Exactly, like the first person to do that, the first non-American to hold the title. And another thing I just want to point out is, and I don't care if this being cocky, I'm going to be honest. I will say it. I don't think the title would be back right now if I didn't ask to come on the podcast originally.
That's a fair statement.
I genuinely don't think it would have been. Maybe eventually, but I feel like it would have took much longer. And it wouldn't have been done the way we did it, and it wouldn't have been delivered the way it got delivered. And I personally feel like
the stars aligned for that, guys.
Things just worked, and they didn't work, but then they would work even though they didn't work. It was so complicated, but it worked. So,
and you can't forget Nathan Hoy and all that. If it wasn't for him, it wouldn't have happened either.
Oh yeah, he did a great job. Yeah, he was unbelievable. So honestly, with all due respect, I personally feel like my impact on the NWF, especially in the modern era, is more than a lot of people can say. With all due respect to all the legends, because I literally did say I think what do you call it? Kid Kelsey gives Crusher his best match. So Kelsey, if you're watching this, I do think you're amazing. Mr. X, I'm a big fan of. All the other legends, I really am. Like the Irish Terror. No, the Irish It is the Irish Terror. Am I right? Yeah. Okay. I was like, wait. Sorry. Can I stop for a second? These are so unoriginal. The Tokyo Terror and the Irish Terror. Was that like? Did you have a small vocab?
I don't know. I don't know who came up. I think Jamie says the Irish Terror was come up by Jeff Dinsmore, but the Tokyo Terror we came up with 3 years earlier.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
But the Irish Terror, all those guys who were great. No disrespect to them.
And we had no idea of the Ireland feud. Like the Irish Terror actually could mean something.
Oh yeah.
With that, all that, but that wasn't the intention. I just don't want to offend anybody out there.
So yeah, no disrespect to any of them. But if I'm being completely honest, as someone who I do believe I'm actually more humble than people think. I know that's the most cocky thing that anyone could ever say is I'm humble, but I will genuinely say my impact was bigger.
No, Ricky's humble outside his character. Yeah, you are. But when it's the Globetrotter, nah, completely opposite of that.
Well, if I don't believe what I'm talking about, why should anyone else, you know?
So my NIPW Mount Rushmore.
Oh, you're not doing an NWF one?
No, I'm going to do the NIPW Mount Rushmore.
I want to hear your NWF one.
Well, I can do that too, but I'll do it in my NIPW. What's that?
It always seems like you're always on with other people when they give it, but you never actually give your one.
I don't want to ever. Yeah. Well, I'll get to the NWF in a minute.
Okay.
But NIPW, it's not Ricky Henry first, guys.
It shouldn't be.
It's Sean McCann in my book because he was the first trainee. He was the first one. He was the first 14. Was he 14 when he started?
14. 2020 he started. Yeah, 14.
Right. And he's been like, honestly, he's like, to me, he's the franchise wrestler of NIPW, in my opinion. Like he has that kind of that image to me.
Yeah.
And so I'm going to put John McCann number 1.
Okay.
Ricky is number 2. Because I think the two of them with all those matches, 10 matches, I think, that built NXG and built the whole thing, in my opinion.
Okay, just keep going, and I'll give you. I'm going to give you my NPW one as well. So
I'm not done yet, though. That's the first two. The third person is DD Crooks, because I think he's just phenomenal talent, and he's really good. When you watch his matches, he's just so good, and Nathan trained him well, and that's the bottom line. And so, but no, it's Dylan too. You know, you can train somebody as good as you can, but the person's got to excel at it, and Dylan excels.
He's so good.
Yeah, he's just. I'll give you an example. When I did the 1, 2, 3 move and everything out there that I showed him, the one guy that stood out to me out of everybody was Dylan, just because he did it. He seen what we were doing, and he just nailed it perfectly. Perfectly. No offense to anybody else. Everybody else was doing it good, very acceptable, even yourself included. But Dylan just shined. You know?
Oh yeah.
So, anyways, Dylan number 3. Now, my number 4 one, you might be kind of like, really, but it is, and it's going to be Nathan Hoy. Nate Maddox is number 4, because without him, it doesn't exist. The NIPW Mount Rushmore is non-existent. You got to have Nathan on there. He's the anchor. He's 4. That's the anchor. Now, my NWF Mount Rushmore.
Okay.
And that was a hard one because I wanted to get Stevie Fee in there. I think Stevie Fee should get in there too. And it was a hard one. And Chris Mercer. Those two guys. Mm-hmm. Sorry, Ben, no offense, but you're just not on my Mount Rushmore, but you're still very good. You know, I think highly of Ben.
He has the potential to be on the right Rushmore eventually. If he keeps.
You know, in time, and Jordan and everybody else. I don't want to offend anybody, but that's just who I would.
You have to think of how long other people have been there as well.
Yeah, you know. Now, the NWF Mount Rushmore, do I have to put myself on it?
If you really are gullible enough to think you don't deserve to be on there when you literally made the thing and are a 5-time world champion of it, and if you're
all right, fine.
Look what we're doing right now.
I'm going to do the Mount Rushmore, but I'm not putting myself first. How about that?
All right, who you putting first?
So my first person on the Mount Rushmore.
I'm going to call you crazy based on who you say.
Man, this is hard. I'm going to say, it's going to be controversial, but I'm going to say Steve Engstrom, Mr. X.
Can I just ask something? Out of
Mhm.
curiosity, do you genuinely, in your heart of hearts, believe? Because I think it's what a Mount Rushmore means. Because the Mount Rushmore is based on the people who are responsible for their impact on the United States. That's what the original Mount Rushmore is, right?
Right, exactly. And you know why I say Steve, and I do.
Do you think his impact was bigger than yours?
His impact was big because he was the first natural bumper. He could bump better than I could, and he came in and started bumping and showed us by example how we should be selling in a match.
Okay.
I learned a lot from him just by watching him in my own matches.
Okay.
So for me, and that didn't just rub off on me, that rubbed off on a lot of people. Now I got pretty good too, but Steve was the first. And if he didn't come in to us as kids and bring that, we wouldn't have developed as quickly as we did. That's for sure. So that kind of impact. Plus, there's the other side behind the scenes that you didn't see. Steve was, remember I said I couldn't drive? Well, he could. So Steve would take me all around. He was like an older brother figure to me. He was 10 years older, but we hung out all the time. Kind of like how you hang out with the guys.
Yeah.
And honestly, and so like, yeah. And, you know, naughty me, I was smoking back in those days, and Steve smoked. And so I'd always bum cigarettes back and forth, you know, and yeah, I know it's crazy to think. And I did a Broadway smoking. Can you believe that shit?
Oh my.
But yeah, I'm glad I quit. So yeah, Steve's number one.
Steve's number one.
Number two is going to be Kid Kelsey.
So you think Kid Kelsey and Steve Engstrom had a bigger impact on the NWF as a whole than you?
Well,
this is you being humble.
I'm going to get to this again, why I'm doing this. And it is being me humble. But Kelsey, because Kelsey's charisma, he wasn't his in-ring stuff. Nah, he could sell pretty good, but he couldn't bump, and he couldn't. But his charisma, his character, his Kid USA gimmick, his Kid Hot Stuff gimmick, he could do any. He could be a heel, he could be a face, he could really do a good interview. He was good for that, and that again rubbed off on a lot of people. And Kelsey came up with so many people's names. He was good for that too. When they come on the show, they're like, I don't know what I'm going to be. Kelsey would figure out their character. And
so this was the guy who came up with Terror twice. Great.
I don't know if he did Tokyo Terror, but so Kelsey. Number three for the third person. God, there's so many people I want to put there, but I'm gonna have to say Ace, just because he's a great heel, great heel, and a nice guy. My God,
oh yeah, really good guy.
Shouldn't have been a heel really if you knew him.
No,
and it was hard. It was hard to make him a heel too because he was popular in school and the girls liked him, and he wasn't getting over as a heel because everybody liked him. He was likable, so that's why I had him beat me for the belt because I knew that piss every NWF fan off that watched. All the little kids that grew up watching me. If I let him beat me, that ain't gonna go over well, and it didn't. So that's why, I say Ace. I'm fourth, just like Nathan. I'm the anchor. I'm the anchor for the whole thing, So it's like that's why I put myself at 4 because it's just my mentality, Ricky. You know that I care about everybody else before myself.
Well, if I was going to give, as you know, I disagree with your NWF one, but anyway, if I was to give my NIPW one, just to level this out, what I'll do, I would say number 1. The way you put it is true. I wouldn't have done it first, but the way you put it is true. I will give John first then. Mm-hmm. John. Because see, to be fair, if someone who's an NXG/NIPW wrestling fan and you said to them, name someone off the roster or name someone who embodies it the most, and they didn't name John, it would be really surprising to me. Like, he just embodies our style and what we're meant to be doing. So John's number 1. Number 2 is where I disagreed with you on your list. You put me, I disagree. I put Nathan there.
Nathan number 2?
Yeah, and I put Nathan there. I put Nathan there because it's similar to the reason why I had you on the list, because using a metaphor, if no one built the fucking field, you can't play ball. Like, so, and the thing is, so the thing that makes it that little bit different in Nathan's end to your end is that although, and this is to discredit your work, this is just to think about it this way, although you started the entire show and did all that, which is harder than what Nathan did in my opinion, because to get that show started up the way he did was more difficult. However, Nathan's work with this roster, you can't name someone on our roster who wasn't trained by Nathan Hoy and who Nathan Hoy didn't see take their first bump.
Right.
You can't, like, genuinely you can't. And why? It's because he is NXT/NWW. He is it. That's literally his other name, basically.
I'm still here, Ricky.
Yeah, I know. Then third on the list, if it's difficult.
I know it's hard, isn't it?
Yeah, I am going to be on this list. I'm not lying to myself. No, I'll give. Right now, I'll give third to DD Crooks, and that's because DD Crooks. He's the one who, if you're going to get all the NIPW guys and bring them to another place, DD Crooks is most likely to main event. And he's most likely to get good reviews, and he's most likely to be the different person on the show. Like, he's different with his wrestling. So I'll give it to him, and then that's where I come in for. The reason why I come in for is because the other three have been there much longer and, in my opinion, have more time to make a bigger impact.
Yeah.
I do believe it's really close between myself and Dylan. But
really, for Ricky? Really?
Well, I do. We both agree John goes over, and I think Nathan has to go over, and Dylan and me could go either way.
Yeah.
I would edge it to Dylan.
I mean, yeah. Look, we pretty much have the same guys, right? I mean, we just.
We do have the same list. It's just in a different order.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Let's see. I'm going to get through the questions, Ricky. Otherwise, we're not going to get through them. So I want to get through them. So I'm going to move to the next. Next question is, and these two kind of are the same. I'm going to combine these two questions. All right.
Mm-hmm.
Just kind of speed this up because I know it's late. So how do you think Crusher ranks his pro wrestling involvement compared to his priorities in life? Like, where do I put wrestling with everything else going on in my world? Like, what are my priorities? How would you rank
what's your number one priority?
Yeah, like, how do you think I rank wrestling? Where does wrestling fall in that list?
First.
You think it's first? I put it first?
100%. Literally everything you've done in your life seems like you're able to link it back to wrestling in some way, shape, or form. Almost everything.
Well, see, I'm gonna disagree though. It's not. You might think it is. My priorities, friendships. That's number one. First.
That makes sense. That does make sense. Yeah.
Friendships first. Followed by family. With me, most people it's family, friendships, but me it's friendships, family. Because I'm not necessarily close with my family. My sisters and I fight, and ever since you're growing up,
you choose friends.
Yeah, friends are honest with you.
You choose your friends.
Family isn't always honest with you, at least with my experiences. So yeah, and then wrestling. Now, how do I rank Ricky's? Family first.
Yeah.
Followed by his friends, followed by wrestling. That's what I would say.
Yeah.
Unless you put wrestling before friends.
Well, I was saying, are the only three priorities?
There's more. I'd say your education is up there too.
The thing with my education is, so the education mainly links into other things that are within the group. So like my education, I value it because, well, first off, I would love to say my future as a whole, but I feel like that includes family in a way, because a big thing I've always said is me having a family is part of the future. So, but I don't fault your list, to be honest. I'll agree with it.
Yeah. All right, let me get to the next question. So I'm going to skip this one, but the other one's going to be, what is most important to Crusher and Ricky? Well, that's kind of the same thing.
Yeah.
So, all right, I'll go to the next one. What is the funniest moment you can remember happening with each other to date? So, funniest thing happening.
You can go ahead and answer first, because I can't think right now.
The funniest thing happening. That was funny. There's lots of little things that were funny. I think the funniest thing, honestly, is that just comes to mind is when things don't go right, technically with Ricky, whether it's something not working on the computer or it's the camera's not right. He's like, great. He just gets completely frustrated. Like,
I
that's
just
just
don't know.
perfect. Just
I don't get
perfect.
it. Yeah, that's exactly. It was so funny. I was
And to
actually
me, it's funny to watch him.
I was
It's
on the
like,
phone. I was actually on the phone with someone as I was trying to do this, and I just kept saying to them, I was like, why do I do this? I actually said to them at one point, I was like, why do I do wrestling? I could just be a drug addict if I wanted to. I don't have to be worrying about computers right now. I don't have to. No, that's fair enough. I'm gonna say something similar to you, but it's different. So, and for me, it is when things go wrong. I find it really funny, but not in the way of when things go on, like with technology. I find it so funny looking back at when we're trying to like for example, during the build up to the match with me and Ben, the amount of things that we had in plan that ended up getting flipped so many times, and looking back and going, how did that work? Like it's shocking. Like, so that's one big one. And then
you got you and Ben losing character on the podcast too.
that could be it for me.
Yeah.
Everything, including when we've had to have Ben on the podcast or have Ben on me and him. We laughed in the match. Like, we couldn't make eye contact without laughing.
Yeah.
Me and him were at the handshake. It's so obvious. I turned my head away and started laughing. And my brother, who was in attendance that night, he actually said to me afterwards, you and Ben just can't take each other seriously. I go, what do you mean? He goes, you were laughing the entire time. I was like, I don't know what to do. I just laugh. So yeah, honestly, the Ben stuff is so funny to me because it leaves me in tears thinking of the fact that me and Ben can't look at each other without just laughing.
They can't. I mean, I didn't know that. I wish I would have known that ahead of time. All right.
Just look at each other.
Because that was my whole plan. That's why we should have. That's my fault. I mean, we should have talked about. I should have said, "This is where I'm going to go," and then Ricky would have said, "No, don't do that." If I would have forewarned him. So the next question is, what was the happiest moment you remember having together so far? Happiest time. You want me to go first?
No, I could go first. And it's a blanket in a way, but I'm just going to blanket it all. When you came to Ireland, 100%.
Like the whole trip?
The whole thing. Like, first off, we had the night where we did the podcast, which was the first day you got there. We went, we chilled. Me and John were in town that day anyway. We ended up going to the training place. We did the podcast. We had a day together.
Yeah.
It was good. And then after that, it goes into so it does that, and then it goes to the next day, which was the title match day, which was a great day. And it was really happy. Everyone was happy. Everyone enjoyed it. And then the final one was the day you ended up coming up to training.
Yeah.
We took a day all together. We were all like me, you, Stevie, and Mitch all went out and had food at Nando Libre's place and all. And it was just good fun, It was a fun couple of days.
Brought the belt out and stuff.
Brought the belt out, and Stevie had just won a championship at the same time. So Stevie was out for championship, and I was out for championship, and it was a lot of fun. And then Jordan had just won the junior heavyweight as well, so we took that iconic photo.
That picture, yeah.
The photo, yeah.
So mine, I'm gonna dial it in a little more than what you did. Not just the Ireland trip. Obviously, it's gonna be that that trip, but there's something that happened that trip, and I've never talked to Ricky about this. But my happiest moment with Ricky is it's like a memory that'll never go away. And it was the night we were there at the training, that Monday, my last day. I was flying out the next day, and so I knew it was going to be the last time I was going to see all these guys. And so as we were done, and of course everybody's coming up to me that day and really making me feel so welcome and stuff, and saying, "God, Crush, you can still go, man." They're just making me feel good, right? So I was feeling good. So I was already happy just from that. But at the end of the night, everybody's shaking hands. Everybody with everybody, because we're leaving. We're saying, see you later. And everybody's shaking hands. I'm shaking hands too. And Ricky's shaking everybody's hands. Ricky come up to me but he didn't shake my hand. He just hugged me. Remember what you said?
Relay it for me.
You said, thank you so much for the opportunity. This means a lot. Exact words. And the reason that's the happiest moment is because I knew it was all worth it at that moment, because I knew it moved him. He didn't have to do that. Remember, Ricky, I always say, words are plentiful. You can say that all you want, but actions speak volumes. And for you to do that, I was ready to shake his hand, and he just hugs me. And, and I was like, wow. I mean, I knew it meant that to you, and you meant every word you said. And so for me, I was happy because I was happy for you to carry the NWF belt again. It was just a happy moment, and it made the whole trip worth it right then and there. And, I know you didn't have to do that. So,
well, I felt as if I did have to, it was as I've said, the fact that you made all that travel and the benefits that I got from it as a whole, and then the fact that I was presented the honor to hold the title to, as I previously mentioned, there's some legends of the NWF who haven't even held that, and I have.
Right.
So, it's a big honor, and to be the first person to take it into this new era of the championship was its own thing,
Yeah. So, I mean, that was a cool moment. That for me, that was my happiest moment with Ricky so far. It was, and I say so far because who knows what the future is going to bring, right?
Oh yeah.
All right. Next question is, okay, this is going to be a fun one. You ready for this? What made you the maddest at each other so far? You know where I'm going.
You know
want me
where
to go
I'm
first?
We're going to the same place, bro.
You want me to go first with my side?
If you insist.
All right. I'm not going to tell you exactly what happened because there's still like active things going on with this whole thing. So I don't want to I'm not going to get into the integral details, but I'll just say this. Ricky made a decision when he was in Canada that to me wasn't the right decision to be made. And when I learned of this decision, I was a freaking mushroom cloud. I was so angry. And here's the funny thing with all of this now, looking back in hindsight, and I haven't even thought of this, Ricky, since then, and I'll tell you why. But anyways, John McCann was in the middle of all of this. It's like John is like talking to Ricky, he's talking to me, and he's gauging all this. And so John realized that I didn't have the full details. And when he filled me in, that's when I'm like, what? You got to be kidding me.
Details you just didn't realize.
Well, it didn't sink into me on how it happened. And so even Nathan wasn't on board with that. Nathan thought it was something else too. Because I was talking to Nathan. I was talking to everybody. I was talking to anybody who listened to me. I'm like, I was so angry. And I'm like, I got to talk to him. I said, Nathan, I got to talk to him. I'm going to get on him, but I got to talk to him. He's got to learn from this, is what I was saying. And Nathan's like, yep, good, 100%. I agree. You know how Nathan is? He's just like, yeah, you do it. Nathan didn't want to have the conversation, wanted me to have it.
Oh, yes,
which is fine. But I just said, but Nathan, I'm going to get on him, but I just want to know that this, he could have done this better. That was my whole thing. And Nathan's agreeing. Yeah, it's got to be a teaching moment, and we're all on board, right?
Mm-hmm.
Then so every time I've wanted to talk to Ricky when it's kind of like important to me, he always gets a hold back to me. Always. This hasn't been that many times, but he's always gotten back to me. And this time he's like, nope, I'll get back to you whenever. I'm like, what? What? Well, John knew I was upset, and John knew that Ricky was also probably in a defensive mode quite a bit too. So John foreseen a disaster. So John went and got hold of Ricky. I learned this afterwards. And tipped him off and said, don't, you got to let Crusher cool off.
I want to just point this out. I don't know where this came from. John, that wasn't what happened. I said no to you before John said this. I told John I said no, and he goes, yeah, it's probably for the best. Crusher's pretty mad.
Oh, because John made it sound like he said.
Oh, of course he did. Of course he did.
Maybe I thought you would. But anyways, John, but I think John did tell you that ahead of time, because you don't always get my stuff right away. And John, you listened to John right away, so you had to hear from him first.
What? Right.
But anyways, so let me just say this. So if we would have talked that day, it would have been horrible because I was
Oh,
so pissed off. I would have not been a good conversation. I wasn't in the right frame of mind to talk. He probably wasn't either. So the fact that we let a day go by and here's the thing, and I told Nathan this after, and like, so when he does finally come to me the next day to talk to me, what does he do? He wears the NWF shirt I just got him as a gift on this, because we came in the studio to talk. How can I get on him when he's wearing the NWF shirt and he has all the right demeanors and all the right attitude, and I couldn't do it. I said to Nathan after, I said, Nathan, I couldn't do it. He knows how to work me. I couldn't. I couldn't yell.
You're about being professional and stuff like that.
I couldn't do it. I said, but don't worry. I think as we talked more civilly that day, and it was much better that we waited. I said, I think he understands that he could do things differently going forward, and that's all that I want out of this.
Mm-hmm.
So, as long as next time he'll think differently and maybe try to do some things different than what he did this time, and that's really all I wanted out of it. So, once I realized. See, that's just it. If I'm mad at you or anybody, my first reaction is we got to talk. We got to get this out. We got to get it off our chest. We got to get this cleaned up and move on. Because like I said, Ricky, once we had that conversation, I haven't even thought of it again. That is, I just now, but I haven't thought back to that at all because we worked it out, right?
Oh, yeah.
So,
well,
all right. Now let's hear your side.
My answer is funny. Because it's the same one, but it's more specific. The most angry I have ever been at Crusher was as he's, just found out how the event really took place, because he wasn't really fully understanding when I was first telling him. So when he starts to really realize how the events took place, which wasn't as good as, which was actually worse than he thought. It just happened to be the same day that I was traveling from Canada all the way back to Ireland. So I am going from plane to plane, running through airports, going through security, and every couple of minutes, I'm hearing, and it's a new notification from this guy in a voice message or an essay typed out saying how wrong of a decision it was. And I'm like, I just want to get home.
I remember
I was on zero sleep, 0 hours of sleep, and I just keep looking at more message after message, and I'm like, and I feel like that's why for the first while after I first got back to Ireland, I was not receptive to the feedback, because I was holding such a grudge against the fact I was that tired and kept hearing in my pocket.
And you kind of told me that much too, that you were. You did explain that to me, not that detailed, but you did kind of, when we had our talk, you did kind of say that, that's.
I was tired.
And everything.
Oh yeah, jet lag was awful.
That was definitely the maddest. But it was just a misunderstanding, and I honestly think though, Ricky, that we both have a better understanding with everything now from that. So I think it was a good. I'm just glad we waited a day, because I know. You want to talk about my weakness? My weakness is I will shout my mouth off when I'm at the peak of being angry, and I will say things that I will regret later. And so it's a good thing we didn't talk that day.
Oh, I know from the amount of unsent messages that I saw, because I didn't even get to listen to them.
Yeah,
because you must have took a second.
Exactly, because I'm like, oh my god, this is too bad. I'm getting rid of it. I know, because once I a lot of times I'll send something when I'm so passionate, I'll listen to it myself to see how am I sounding. Is this what I want to say? I'm like, shit, that doesn't. Nah, I'm getting rid of it.
I love the idea though of Crusher being at like peak anger and like shouting down his voice message and listening to him going, "That's too mean. Delete it. Try it again, but be nice."
You should have heard me with John. When I realized it with John McCann, I'm like, he did what?
That scrawny little rat.
Fucking kidding me.
What's
you gotta be fucking kidding. That's what I kept saying. I'm sorry, I just threw the F-bomb out.
Money's gone, Crusher. We're broke this month.
I said, why? And John, and of course, John wants to be everybody's buddy. So John's like, I know, I don't understand it. I don't know why he did it.
John's coming to me being like, here, Crusher's fairly exaggerating this, isn't it?
Yeah. And then he's probably telling you what you want to hear. He's telling me what I want to hear.
Yeah.
The one thing about John is he wants to be everybody's buddy. He wants everybody to be friends. He doesn't want any conflicts. he wants it smooth sailing. So he tries to. That is the one thing. That's actually good quality of John.
It's a good and negative in both ways.
But yeah, he does tell you what you want to hear.
Mhm.
All right, let's get to the next question. I knew that was going to be a fun one. If there is one thing you could change about the other, what would it be?
It's difficult.
I could think of one for you, Ricky.
Go. What may that be?
If I was answering for you,
Oh, for me.
yeah.
Oh wait. No, don't worry about it. Then I'll
tell you after I hear yours.
Yeah.
But no, for you, I'll just go mine first for you. What one thing I could change about you if I could? Self-confidence. Get more of it.
Okay, I was actually
be glowing with self-confidence.
I was actually really positive.
Yeah, I just want you to be. You're better than you think you are, Ricky, and you gotta not only just hear that, you gotta believe that. So,
I think I understand.
No, I mean you really gotta believe that.
Um.
Really, truly, up and down the aisle. Like not second guess things. Like you second guess my drop kick, you second guess this, you second guess that. Have confidence in general. Yeah.
You know what? If I was to change one thing about Crusher, it would be his age.
That's what I was gonna say for you. We know your age.
If you were literally just like even at least like at the oldest like 30 or 35, so you could still get a good few years of wrestling still left in you. It would be perfect.
Well, I'd move to Ireland.
Oh yeah. So it honestly age just for the benefit of everyone in the NWF.
No, I think age too, because it's not look, we can be friends being this age. Like I don't have a problem with that. But it'd be easier for Ricky if I was more his age, Because when you're young, you want to have friends that are young too, and I get that. Do
you not see what I do for a living?
Well, I get it, but I'm just saying.
I'm friends with Sage and Nathan who are in their 30s.
But I'm in my 50s.
I class them as my best friends, and they're so old. These guys are old.
But I think it would be more fun if we were the same age. Just youthism and young. I mean, that's why I was going to say that for you. I could see that. All right, let me go to the next question. Yes, okay. What do you admire most about each other? Admiration.
Admire the most?
These are fun questions, aren't they?
Oh yeah. Honestly, resiliency is one.
Resilience?
As in the fact that like a lot of stuff behind the scenes that we both know about has been like, to me, I'm like putting my head through all, but then it's actually mostly you taking the brunt of the issue, and I'm like, this guy, and then the next day you're fine. I'm like, this guy's so resilient with this stuff. And then obviously with stuff with the NWF, there was so many times where you just were at a loss at so many different things, and so many times it looked like things weren't going to work, and then they worked because you weren't giving up on it. And so I would say resiliency personally.
And for you, what do I admire the most? Again, this is kind of easy for me. It's how do I word it though? The ability to make everything perfect in his wrestling. Like everything he does is perfect in his moves, in the way he does it. He makes it look so good. So the perfection of what he's doing in a match. And I'm not just talking moves. I'm talking like calling the match, saying this is all it's going to go. We're going to have a hot spot here. We're going to do this, that, I seen it firsthand when I was reffing, and, just the perfectionism, if that's a word.
Oh yeah, I didn't shut up that much.
Well, not that. I mean, but you know what I'm saying, right? Like just being perfect with it, wanting it to be perfect. And
that's OCD.
Yeah. OCD. I mean, it probably
Nothing
is.
less. Nothing
but-
less than perfect, else I'm not happy.
But I would say perfect. The perfect being, just being perfect with things.
Perfectionism.
Perfectionism. Yeah. That's what I admire the most. Now, what do you least desire about the other?
To the least admirable thing.
Yeah, the least admirable. We kind of already answered this in a way.
Yeah, with our
like our weakness. I'll just go first. My least desirable thing with Ricky is the know-it-allness he gets sometimes. He knows it all.
I do.
He has a know-it-all attitude when even with Nathan, even with all of us. Look, he doesn't hold back any particular person. If he thinks he's right, he's right.
My friends have this joke where they say, if I'm in a debate with someone and they say I could argue the grass is blue and somehow win the argument just by being so obnoxiously believing my own lies, that eventually the other person goes, I give up. He's right. Fair enough. Whatever. Yeah, that's fair enough. The least admirable thing about Crusher is
annoying you with long voice messages.
That's actually was the first thought. His your ability to waffle.
Waffle.
The term over here means when you talk for long periods of time with no real meaning. And you're just talking.
Well, because waffle over here means you flip flop.
No, waffle here means you talk and you talk, and you're like,
oh, you mean, in other words, I've made my point, but I keep talking? Okay, I do that.
I got your point 20 minutes ago, and we're still going.
That's kind of my OCD in a way. All right, let's get to the next question. All right, I don't know if we're going to want to answer this, but who has been the worst guest we've had so far on this podcast? Worst guest.
I mean, I have it. Are we actually answering it?
I mean, are we talking guests or the reaction of the people? I mean,
the worst guest. I have two.
Well, go ahead. You go first because I'm not sure.
Whoa! I'm not. Don't make me say it, and then you not say anything. So then I'm the only one who insulted guests.
Maybe I'll have the same.
Also, one of my guests is someone who used to train with someone who we're still talking to currently. So I don't know if I should say it.
I don't know who that is even.
All right. I feel like I'm able to put it in a nice way because it isn't actually a thing on the person. That's a person. I'll say the hillbilly kid.
Yeah.
And here's why.
I was thinking that too a little bit. No offense, hillbilly, if you're watching.
No. It was just that he was very nervous.
Yeah, the nervousness.
And he's very introverted. And because of that, it's harder to get some talking out of him. Mm-hmm. And it was harder to make him feel comfortable. And it was
only at the end of the podcast when he kind of got comfortable.
He kind of got more into it. So he's up there. There is worse, but for reasons that I'm not going to say. So I'm not going to say the people.
I don't know. There was another guest we had. The guest was fine, but man,
there was other aspects that we didn't enjoy, and I think we're thinking about the same person.
And I think everybody knows who we're talking about. It wasn't that long ago. So let's get off of this subject then. The next.
Oh wow, froze me on.
I agree. I agree with you on hillbilly. I think I would go there too. Nothing against Sean Hernandez and the guys, but just that one was a rough one, just because he wasn't comfortable right away.
No, I don't think it was his sort of setting.
All right. Next guest, who was the best guest we had so far on the podcast? The one that was the best episode, and I know who I'm picking.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
That was
I'm going to go first.
I have who I think you're going to say in my head, but go for it.
Mitch the Kid. I think Mitch the Kid was a great guest only because we all were comfortable. We all had a good time. We were really feeling it. You could tell.
Okay.
And it was just a very good episode. Not that he's the best. When I say best guest, not best wrestler, not best
We aren't comparing that.
We're not comparing talent. I'm just saying, as far as a guest on the show, I'm going to say Mitch the Kid, in my opinion.
Well, for me, I have 3.
Oh my gosh.
I know. Mitch is one of them.
Mhm.
Because, and funny enough, fun fact for if we ever do like a trivia night here at NWF, Mitch the Kid was the first guest I ever had as the main host of NWF.
Was it?
Yep.
Hmm.
Because the first show we did was just me and you, and the next one was Mitch.
Yeah.
So he's one. The next one is Ben Nelson, because me and him
Ben?
have fun. Yeah, we have fun, and also it's up for debate. Could you
Well,
count our?
Okay, let me talk
handshake
about Ben for a minute. Ben was interesting because the first time he came on, Ricky forgot to take his meds, and Ricky was bouncing off the walls. He was so hyper, and yeah, that was a fun episode. But Ben, you were like bouncing off the walls. I remember that.
I was laughing so much because it was so we're trying
to ask Ben questions, and Ricky's like, you know what? Shut up, Ben. I'm going to answer for you. This is what happened in that match, and he just taking over the whole conversation.
It was just ripping Ben the whole time, so it was so funny. So Ben's in there, and in this one, I feel like may not been expected by people. West Danger.
Yeah, West was good.
Reason why is because I wasn't expecting to go on a podcast that day. I just ended up going on because of someone, John McCann, pulled out.
Right.
And
I think you wanted to meet West as well, though.
Well, yeah, that was also in there. But me and West got on, we were talking, and
because you're kind of the one that tipped him off on the show.
Well, yeah, I'd said about wanting to bring West Danger on from when I first started.
Yeah, you told Wes you should come on, and we never heard from him forever. And then he finally
he blanked us, he big leagued us, but no, West was good fun. Like we had a good bit of we had a laugh, So
the Pac-Man twins, I want to get those guys too, and I got to get a hold of West to get a hold of them because I can't message them. They didn't follow me back.
Of course, yeah.
But those Pac-Man guys, that's twins, I want to get them on.
Yeah,
I'm working on it. Anyway, yeah, I agree. All right, let me get to the next one. I know it's getting late, Ricky.
2 a.m. We've made it, folks.
Let's see. Okay, we only got 3 questions left, so this is gonna be good.
Ooh.
All right. What was the greatest in-character interaction you had with each other that stands out as the best moment so far in your wrestling storytelling with each other? Now, this is with me and you.
I have 2.
2? I have one that I know stands out to me. Want me to go first?
Go for it.
We got really deep with the story with the build-up of the championship match. As you guys know, we were really deep. We did that for 2 months? Mm-hmm. And we kept building it up. And to me, the best moment we had was the time when I finally laid it all out to Ricky. In the beginning of the show, I gave him like a 10-minute spiel. And he didn't know exactly what I was going to say, but he kind of knew where I was going. We just go bullet points. Like I said, I'm going to say this, you do that. I don't know how he's going to react. And a lot of it is audibles. He doesn't do what I told him to do. That happens. And this is kind of one of those moments. I didn't expect this, but looking back at it, it was the best of again, Ricky loves the drama. So what Ricky's seen, when I gave that big spiel and I wholeheartedly apologized for cheering up Ben Nelson and not him and really making that heartfelt moment. And what does Ricky do? He was supposed to, just so you guys know, he was supposed to start coming full circle. He starts to start realizing it. No, he threw an audible. He's like, as much as I loved hearing the apology and as much as I'd like to accept it, I can't. It was so, I say it like you did. It was so cruel. Like, how could you say that after that apology? Even Johnny said it when he watched it, like he couldn't believe it.
Do you want to know why? Because it got me heat.
Exactly. I mean, it just built it up for the match itself.
I'm a firm believer. My wrestling philosophy is do the most cruel stuff that, like, it feels like the story's meant to go this way. It's meant to be a happy ever after. Take it completely away and be the most evil person on the planet. Like, I love the idea that Halfdan did it on a show where he beat a guy. It was when I was in Canada. He beat this guy in a match, and his wife was in the crowd. His wife gets in the ring, who is a trained wrestler, but the fans don't know this, and starts checking on him. And Halfdan spears his wife while he is lying lifeless on the floor with his Halfdan. And I'm like, that's so evil. It's amazing. That's why I loved me and Keaton thing. That was a perfect way to get my heel persona across, is because I took this fan who is the most loved fan NXT/NFW has ever had.
Well-
Everyone who comes to shows knows Keaton as the fan, and of course he's now a wrestler. But when he first, for a lot of people, they saw him as, oh, he's the fan, Keaton. You know, they didn't know he was the wrestler yet. They hadn't really seen the wrestler Keaton.
And he had so many people in there to see him wrestle.
Oh, and he had everyone there, and for me to beat him and celebrate how I did, honestly, if it was this, I'm going to actually pull the curtain away for a bit. I actually requested originally to attack Keaton after the match. And no, I requested to pretend to shake his hand and then low blow him. Because I was like, Nathan, think of it this way. They'll hate me. And he goes, I don't know. I want the kid to just have his match. And I go, but I think it's great if I just attack him. If I batter the kid, like.
But see, remember when I told you that there's like heels that don't do a good job at being a heel, and then there's others that do. And this is what I was talking, and I told this on Rewind that, there's a time in the match where you pointed down to Keaton, and then you knew all his fans were out there, and you're like, this is not a wrestler. I'm a wrestler, and elbow drop, right?
Yeah.
Like that, people hate that. How can you say that? That's where a heel does a good job being a heel. And there's heels that wouldn't necessarily do that moment. They would just expect to get the heat. And that's what I was trying to say. Anyways, what are yours? Like you said, there's two things
I
that
have
stand
two,
out.
and one's kind of funny. So I'll just say the first one. I call it part of the hand. Like I call it us two being in character. I think it counts is the handshake from hell thing.
That was a good segment.
All parties involved did a great job of getting that across, and it was exactly what I wanted it to be. Because just point out everyone, that was my idea. And
wait a minute now.
No. The concept was my idea. You filled in.
I'm the one that came up with the table flip.
No, here's what you came up with the table flip. Whoopity doo. Here's what
I'll tell you something else. Let me tell you this before you go too far on your hobby horse there. Ricky. So initially I said, Ricky, I just want you to go back and forth with Ben. I'm not going to interject. I'm not going to say anything. You're like, no, you got to ask us questions. And I think Ricky was worried that Ben wouldn't be able to hang with him on this. So he wanted me to interject with questions because you were concerned.
He wasn't able to hang.
He did all right. He did all right.
Wasn't up to my power, in my opinion.
No, but he did acceptable.
He was okay.
Just had to.
Guess.
But the thing is,
making inside jokes and all.
you wanted me to interject with questions. I said, no. You just create the heat with each other. I was big on that. Remember?
Oh yeah, but the handshake and the slap and the pushing and the whole break apart and people getting in the middle was my idea.
Well, it was both. It was really both our idea.
Oh, don't try it.
I think we came up with it. Didn't we come up with it talking with each other? I think.
Yeah, well, but
we can look at our chats, Ricky, and figure out who came up with it.
No, I know exactly where we did it. We did it on this after a show. I pitched you my idea. Yeah, I pitched you my idea for it because I was inspired by.
Well, you did say you wanted to blur the lines. I remember that.
Really
blur the lines.
That was my idea. It's my idea.
I think I came up with a lot of that though. You know I did.
Yeah.
Man, that was such a good segment.
The handshake's definitely there, and this one is so arrogant of me to say, and it's just a line I said, and it's honestly we should have included it in our funniest moments together. I dropped a line on a show about Crusher and Ben Nelson. The Crusher texted me afterwards to tell me how funny he found it.
I know what you're gonna say.
And I was losing my mind at Crusher, and I
repeat what it is so they know.
And I said, "Quote, Crusher, you're so far up Ben's ass, you may as well be a colonoscopy."
And Keaton started laughing. Exactly.
Oh yeah, Keaton was here and was laughing so hard. Crusher said he had to try to stay in character. Nathan actually pulled me aside in training, and he watches the podcast in bits and pieces, and he said he laughed so hard at that. And it was off the cuff of my head. I just said it.
We laughed at each other. Nathan and I were talking about that after.
I was so proud of that one because I just thought of it, and I was like, before I said it, I went, this will actually hit, I think. And then it worked because Keaton started laughing. I was like, he knows what a colonoscopy is. That's perfect.
Yeah. I mean, that was a good line. I mean, it was.
I'm proud of that one. I'm so proud of it.
Can't lie there. That was a funny one. All right. Next question. All right, Ricky. Who makes a better world champ, Crusher or Ricky?
Me.
That's that. You?
I believe in better in ring. I believe in better on the mic. No, if I'm putting jokes aside, I will put myself, and here's my reasoning. I feel like it's because I've also been trained with free wrestling in a wee bit of marketing on how to put across the championship and how to put across a brand with how I talk about it and with my promos, etc. So I feel like when I'm having a match, I know how to make it feel like a big deal. And I know how to make it feel like I'm important as a champion. And I feel like I'll give it to myself.
All right. Well, if we're talking like wrestling abilities, it's hard to say because like back in the day for the time period, I was definitely good, but not like he is today. Like his caliber is way up there compared to what we ever did. So it's like, but I did hold it 5 times.
Oh, here we go.
I mean,
People got bored of your title reigns.
And, you know, that's, I don't know. I mean, I know there was a draw. There was a reason 350 people showed up at our first armored event. I was the main event. So, you know, and there's a reason all the kids came up to me for, you know, that the autograph thing that's all on video where I got all those kids coming up to me. They didn't do that for anybody else. So I had a following locally for sure. Where they, you know, little kids especially just got into it. But so does he. So it's, I don't know. I mean, that's like saying what came first, the chicken or the egg?
I love the way he's complaining about the question. I swear you made these questions.
I'm trying to think of good questions for us. You know?
It's such a dumb question.
But, all right, let's get to the next question. This will be a fun one. Ricky, how do you rank Crusher's ego in wrestling on a scale of 1 to 10, with 10 being the highest?
Wrestling is in the sport in general. Wrestling is in his ability to wrestle.
The ego.
Yeah, but you talk
having
about
an
you said
ego,
your wrestling ego.
Having
Is
an
that
ego,
about, like,
ego in you know what an ego in wrestling is?
No, but I mean, like, do you mean it's in how much of an ego you have for what you've done in wrestling as a whole,
No.
or your wrestling ability?
No. An ego as in, I'm not getting put over by this guy. The heck with that. I'm more important. That's an ego.
I believe you're like a 2, 1 or a 2.
You don't think I'm an like 1 or a 2?
No, you literally told us during the shoot days you were want to put someone over who was a heel.
True.
In those days, the babyface putting over the heel was already going to be an issue for a lot of babyfaces, and the fact you did it over one of the smallest guys there, and then, you know,
somebody I could have beat easily.
Again, it was a shoot as well, and you let him beat you like that. That's
hard, guys. That's hard. You don't understand how, Ricky. You guys don't do it a lot, but when we grew up wrestling and stuff, you knew when somebody was letting you beat them. Some people just get submissive, and you knew it. You could tell. You're not trying, dude. So it's hard to do that convincingly. I had to be aggressive enough so he didn't. Because that word got out, that wouldn't be good. People would be pissed. Anyways, what Ricky's ego is in wrestling on a scale of 1 to 10, I was gonna say, I thought about this. I'm gonna put you at a 3, and I can't say why because there's things in the works, but there was some.
I know
things
what you're talking about. I don't have an ego. But
there's some things that it's funny, like he doesn't. But then when you say, "Ricky, what's the matter? You got an ego here?" And all of a sudden, no, I don't. All right, fine. Have it your way. Fine. We'll do it. You know. And he'll change tune. And Nathan and I were laughing about that because
I don't have an ego.
Nathan's like, "Yeah, I know exactly what you mean."
Oh my god.
No, you don't really. That's why I said a 3. But sometimes I think though. I told you this, everybody's got an ego. The only question is, are you in control of the ego or is the ego in control of you? And sometimes I think Ricky forgets, but then when he's reminded, he gets in check. Is that a good way to put it?
Sure.
And then there's one other question I'm going to ask because I meant to put it on here. We'll just end with this question. We're going to call it a night because Ricky's tired.
Yeah, it's past 2 a.m.
But sometimes you step to 3 or 4 in the morning, so don't act like
that's not ideal. Right now I'm in school routine these days, so
I
been up from like 7. So
I get it. No, but the last question is this: if you could go back in time to our era, who would you want to have a match with the most of the NWF roster? And it doesn't have to be me, Ricky.
Well, it probably would be though, but I feel like that's a boring answer.
All right, and I would probably say you too. So let's just eliminate ourselves and of everybody
Well,
else.
I know what you're gonna say if it's not me.
Of course you do.
Yeah, it's obvious. For me,
I know who I think you would pick, but
I'll go for one of two. Either Mr. X, because he was a good heel,
he was good. He
and
was
you
just
said
good. He'd make you look good.
and that's it, yeah. And then the other one is Ace. And
Really?
here's my logic. He was in the shoe fighting days, right?
Was it what?
He was in the shoe fighting days, right?
Oh yeah, shoots. Yeah.
I
You
kick
want to
his
shoot
ass.
him?
I kick his ass. Even
Well,
now, I kick his ass.
There's guys that could, but he would get the ropes. The ring was too small.
I don't care. I'd hate timing and all. Like, I'm just saying, he get his ass kicked.
You just want to fight him in a shoot. I thought you were going to say Irish Terror
No,
because I know you were intrigued with his character.
he's up there for a dream guest, though.
Yeah.
And like a short-term goal for us, I think he'd be a good one because I watched him with Keaton. He's very professional, well-spoken, and good camera quality.
Yeah. He's going to come on a rewind with us, I think, in October.
That's good.
But anyways, who I want to, if I can't pick Ricky, I already picked Ricky first before, but yeah, I mean, it's got to be John McCann because he's got number two. Look, guys, and you know why? Because John cares. I'm going to tell you a quick little story about John before we wrap it up. He told John is really excelling well right now. Don't you think, Ricky? He's got a lot of interest. People are booking him all over and stuff. John told me privately, and everybody knows John wants to have my last match. That's no surprise. He said that, right? That's what he wants. And John said that for a while there, we were talking about somehow trying to make that happen. And John said to me, he goes, Crusher, I've got bookings and stuff coming up, and there's all sorts of matches they got going on. But this match that we could potentially have with you means the most to me right now. I care about that more than any of these other matches. He told me that word for word. And so whether he meant it or not, I don't know. But for me to hear that, at my age, like, really, John? But I think there's something about me and John that has been there ever since I met him. And I think that's why he wants that so bad. There's just a thing with him. I know Ricky does too, but no, don't get confused with our characters, guys. He's not a coward with me and he's not afraid. Don't think that's just our character talk. But no, John, and I trust John. I trust him because he's good. And look, guys, I need somebody that's good if I ever get in the ring again. So, and I know that John cares. So it's like, that's why. You know what I'm trying to say?
Yeah.
Yeah. And I'm not trying to discredit you at all either when I say
No,
that.
I know. No, I know.
Yeah. But it's just John's actually told me that word for word. So, and I'm sure you're going to say, Ricky's probably thinking, John tells you what you want to hear, Crusher. You got to understand. He tells you what you want to hear. He wants a match.
You said it.
All right, guys, it's super late and I don't want to keep Ricky up anymore. So
2:15.
I hope you enjoyed. Did you have fun, Ricky? Was it fun doing these questions?
Yes, it was very good. Yeah, I would not be up till 2:15 for any other reason. So
yeah. So we're going to have some things coming up. I don't even know who our next guest is going to be on October 3rd, the first week of October, whatever. We're not sure yet. So I don't have a graphic to show, but I want to show a few things. What is coming up? Just real quick on Rewind. Speaking of Ace, there he is, and I'm about to swing him right in the head. This wasn't a shoot, but studio taping 42, Dave and myself, September 25th. It's coming up. And then also, after that show, Kayfabe with Keaton, he's got Mickey Doyle, September 21st. Do you know him?
Nope.
I think he's from Irish. Irish Mickey Doyle.
I'm not up to date on my old school Irish wrestling, to be honest.
Uh-oh. You always told Nathan you were like a big fan. Uh-oh.
Yeah, but I've openly said that I was a lie.
Okay, so he knows now.
He knows I was lying.
All right. And then a reminder again, everybody, get your tickets, Grand Social, nipw.sumupstore.com for a week from Sunday. if you're in
yeah.
Ireland, because we are streaming on NIPW's channel too. Get your tickets. There's not many left, is what Ricky said. So get your tickets, and you will see an NWF World Championship match. Maybe we might have a new world champ here. I don't know.
Nothing to worry about.
And then we'll talk more about what's coming up. Ricky and I are working on some things to maybe hopefully get his next opponent in as a guest. We'll see. We'll see what we can do. All right. So, guys, 1 year, and I enjoyed every minute of it. And he's my I'll say this much. I admire John McCann a lot, but Ricky is my best friend in Northern Ireland, even more than Keaton. If I had to have a best friend in Ireland, Ricky's got to be it, because I spend so much time with him. So, there's that.
We're sick of each other. Yeah.
So, all right, give you some props. All right. All right, guys. We'll see you next time we're live.